In 2020, the world changed. COVID-19 pandemic has changed the global scenario. It has changed our way of working, way of studying, way of doing businesses. Businesses were forced to adapt over the night. Supply chains were disrupted. Companies shifted to remote work. And not only that, businesses and industry we took for granted had to rethink their entire approach of doing business. This is the story of the beginning days of the pandemic. I was sitting on my wooden chair and thinking, what is going to be the future of work? How will the business navigate their uncertainty? How this is going to impact the finance world? And few months down the line, what I see was very unexpected. The demand of accountants and CMAs started growing.
Yes, the demand for accountants, financial experts, specifically the demand for CMAs. Yes guys, the demand for CMAs started increasing. Where we wanted to balance the financial expertise with strategic vision became greater than ever before. The small businesses to global corporations, everybody needed a CMA. It's indeed a very big thing for all of us CMA aspirants as well as CMA professionals. Unique Global Education, a venture by Unique Academy for Commerce, one of India's most beloved and trusted educational institutions, with a remarkable legacy of over 16 years in shaping the careers of aspiring professionals in CA, CS and CMA.
It all began in 2010 when Unique Academy for Commerce took a huge step to provide world-class training to the aspiring professional in CA, CS and CMA. Back then, no one could have predicted that how far this journey will go, right? And our true guide, Mr. Ashish sir, has started this journey with only 4 students and guiding students from Pan-India right now.
What started as a small educational venture quickly grew into one of India's most trusted institutions. Who knew that 16 years later we would have a vast network of students across India with more than 150,000 alumni.
And if you have a big round of applause for that.
And over 300 rankers to our name. It's been an incredible ride, and every success story we have helped create only fuels our passion to do more. Our commitment to excellence has shaped careers and transformed lives, ensuring our students to receive the best guidance and personalized support every step of the way.
And today, I'm very proudly saying this, today Unique Global Education is a synonym with quality education and success, as we continue to inspire the next generation of CACS and CMA professionals to reach new heights.
And who knew back in 2010 that we would just meet the expectation, but we would go beyond that, more than the expectations. And we are just getting started here.
Now in collaboration with IMA, we Unique Global Education extend a warm welcome to all of you to this beautiful event. With a wealth of experience in corporate sector and a successful transition in education, we are confident that his perspective will be incredibly valuable for our students. We trust that his journey will offer both inspiration and practical guidance to help our learners thrive.
Under his leadership, IMA has made significant strides in advancing the management accounting profession in India, while also promoting the importance of lifelong learning and digital innovation in education. Let's welcome Mr. Arindam Ghosh to the stage. Give a big round of applause.
To felicitate Mr. Arindam Ghosh, I would like to call upon Mr. Ashish Parikh sir on the stage. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
What's better? Uh, so wonderful to be amongst all of you bright minds. Those eyes twinkling with the future, I could definitely see. Yes, we are all there, and I personally feel that it's all because of Mr. Parikh that we are all dreaming that big. You guys are here amongst that number of students who have already passed from here. So there is a legacy that happens, which we all need to continue. And congratulations for choosing the path. Some of you are already into it. Some of you would be going for it. So I think fantastic that you are choosing it to be like this. Overall, what I really feel is that the way overall the globalization and the kind of corporates are working towards, they are talking about kind of strategy involved in terms of everything, whether it is finance, whether it is business, whether it is enhancement. So I think the overall in terms of your way you look at CMA as an option is something which is quite integrated the way the corporates looks forward to. So it's a kind of a quality certification that definitely takes you way above and beyond. So that's something going forward is going to be a fantastic future for all of you. So I wish you all the best and take it up from here because you are amongst the best hands in the industry. Thank you and over to you all. Thanks.
They say the best leaders are those who inspire others to be their best. We are fortunate to have such a leader among us. It's time we hear from the one who is true driving force behind all that we do. The driving force behind Unique Global Education, a venture by Unique Academy for Commerce, guiding his success with a commitment to excellence, innovation and strategic growth. Please put your hands together for Ashish sir.
Yes, good evening. Yes, good evening. कैसे हो? सब I think मुझे ना वो पढ़ाने वाली फीलिंग चली गई ना, इसलिए एक साल से पढ़ाया नहीं है, तो it's all guys, all good? One more time. Good evening. Good evening. I think first of all, a huge round of applause for our guest. It's an honor to have such a distinguished guest with us today. More than guests, they are my dear friends. And I would like to extend my warm welcome to Mr. Sunil, IMA Global Board Chair, Arindam Ghosh, Country Head, India at IMA, Viyanza Regional Head, Western and Central India at IMA. I think as Aditya and Sandra truly say, we started our journey with 4 students. And I never know that this journey can be so big. And today we are teaching more than 10,000 students pan-India every year in different various professional courses like CA, CS, CMA. And we also expanded our reach into global education by introducing international certifications like CMA US, CFA US, ACCA UK, FRN, CPA, CFP, ESG, and many more to come. Guys, as you all know, every success story, behind any journey, there is one story. And behind Unique's journey, there is also one story. And I would love to share that on this podium. And I relate my journey with Sunil. So definitely I'll take 5 minutes, Sunil, not more than that, and I'll hand over to you. I failed 10th standard once. I failed in 12th standard again. And today I'm standing right before you. Isn't it surprising? मतलब ये लोग सोच रहे होंगे पढ़ा था कैसे? But that's a fact in reality. That's a fact in reality that we all need to understand. I think, as I said, I failed in 12th standard once, and somehow I able to clear my 12th from science background. And today I am catering to commerce background, correct? I cleared my 12th science and then I left my studies. मुझे लगा कि पढ़ाई सब फालतू. I started working and I used to make 10,000 bucks a month in 1994. And it was a huge amount back then. I think Sunil, you can relate that. 10,000 bucks a month मतलब ऐसा होता था कि उस टाइम के 2-3 लाख रुपए हो जाएंगे आज की करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करें. And what I think कि पढ़ाई लिखाई सब बेकार है. काम करो पैसा. And on one fine day, I got an opportunity to work in US. I worked as a manager in retail store like Swansea by Right, Shaw's, Walmart. It is a long story. Let me cut it short क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा अगर खींचने जाऊँगा तो बहुत लंबी स्टोरी हो जाएगी. I came back in India in 2007, and when I came back in India, I was 32 years old, and I started with my graduation at the age of 32. Because when I went to US, I was only 12 pass with 45%. Let me mention that. At the age of 32, I started back. I started with graduation. Along with, I pursued my Indian CMA. But believe me or not, that was the biggest mistake of my life at the age of 18 when I left my studies. And when I started back at the age of 30-35, it was not that easy. Along with family and social responsibilities, you have to come home at, because corporate life, Arindam, you know very well, correct? You go in the morning 9 o'clock, you come at 9 o'clock, and after that you go to study. It was not that easy. But by grace of God and with the wonderful support of my lovely wife, I was able to achieve it. दोस्तों मैं यहाँ पे मेरी लाइफ स्टोरी शेयर करने नहीं आया हूँ. Today we have Sunil with us, and we really have to listen to him. His inspiring, motivational, and remarkable journey. Believe me or not, definitely he's going to inspire you today. And let me just brief you. I think a small boy of Maharashtrian background, coming from, I think he must have taken his basic education from Marathi medium. I took my basic education from Gujarati medium, so I relate with him. And he worked in multinational companies as CFO, CEO, managing director, and today he is IMA Global Board Chair. I think huge round of applause for Sunil. Without much of the time, let me, I think, Sunil, thank you very much again for graciously accepting our invitation. I think he is very busy. He's been traveling a lot across the world. He's dead busy, and I think he gave me, one date, I'm available here, Ashish, and I just called him, he said I'm available. And he gave me one date, I fixed that date, and he is here today. And I think this is definitely honor and privilege for us that Sunil is with us today. And I think without wasting much of our time, I would let's call upon Sandra and Aditya to invite Sunil to the stage. Please come. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Now, it is our privilege to honor another remarkable individual, Mr. Sunil Deshmukh, the esteemed Global Board Chair of IMA. His dedication and leadership truly deserves our recognition. Our academy has been eagerly trying to connect with Mr. Sunil Deshmukh for quite some time, seeking an opportunity to host him for a session, and today we are thrilled to have him with us finally. Let's have a cheer for that.
Yes, let me introduce you to a man who can be a true guide. I tell you, he has written his own success story, the incredible success story, and the man who has proven that no matter from where you start, with right determination and right mindset, you can achieve the extraordinary heights. Okay, as our sister said, picture this, a young boy coming from Marathi medium schools, with all the challenges that comes with, very limited resources. That boy, Sunil Deshmukh, didn't let his circumstances define him. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Sunil Deshmukh.
A visionary leader whose exceptional contributions to the field of management education and his leadership at IMA have set new benchmark to the industry. Mr. Deshmukh is currently based in India, but in his 30 years career, he has worked in consumer market in Africa, Asia, Middle East and Southeast Asia, developing business strategies, managing operations and providing board-level oversight and governance.
It is our distinct pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Sunil Deshmukh. He has been a valued member of IMA since 2010 and he has held several key positions with the organization including President of IMA's Mumbai and Pune chapters,
Member of IMA's Global Board of Directors since 2021,
Chair of Nominating Standing Board Committee,
Member of Governance and Strategic Planning Standing Board Committees. Let us all join in acknowledging and celebrating his achievements. Please welcome Mr. Sunil Deshmukh, and with a big round of applause, let's show him some love.
Let's now invite Mr. Ashish Parikh sir to please join us in felicitating our distinguished guest.
Good evening. How are you? What I liked in my entire introduction was he called me a boy. Very happy. No one calls me a boy nowadays. Right? Even my boys don't call me the boy. Right? So I was very happy. Thanks for calling me the boy. I really enjoyed. For some time I thought I would become young. Then I are young. I am young. Right? I am the youngest in the class. So, thank you very much for inviting me, Ashish and Mrs. Ashish. Really appreciate the work you are doing. When Ashish used the word inspire, I was a little bit worried because I was not able to think that whether I will be able to inspire you guys or not, but let me try, right? Let me try. So I thought I will just share my story a little bit with you so that if it helps you. My belief is that even one person get inspired by listening to my story, my job is done, right? And of course, there's a very nice saying that it's a Persian poet, Rumi, which I like and I speak a lot about that, is that when I was clever yesterday, I wanted to change the world. When I was clever yesterday, I wanted to change the world. I'm wise today, I'm changing myself. So it's your time to change yourself. Do not worry about the world. There are so many things for you. You as a young student can change yourself first, then you can change the world, right? Ashish is already changing the world. 160,000 alumni members. Oh my God. I was really shocked to know that in a good sense. Shock is not bad, shock is good. So I was very happy to hear. So he's already changing the world of finance profession and I'm very happy to know that. And so your future is in your hand. And I will tell you, you can change the world with the finance profession as your profession. Just to go in a little bit in flashback, I studied all the way from first standard to BCom examination, all in Marathi medium. How many of you know Marathi here? Raise the hands. All Maharashtrians? Yes. How many of you know Hindi? How many of you know Gujarati? Ashish, how many of you know Bengali? No Bengali? Oh, your husband is Bengali. See, only 2 people know Bengali. I don't know Bengali, I'll not speak. Sanskrit, anyone know Sanskrit? Wow, 1, 2, 3. So there is a very nice quote in Sanskrit, I will not quote it fully. Vidwanam sarvatra pujyate. Have you heard this thing? Yes. In the world, you might be so the story goes that a king is respected in his kingdom. A king is respected in his kingdom or her kingdom. Oh, sorry. A husband is respected in the house. This is a belief. No pun intended here. I think so. When I'm out of the house, I'm more respected. And an intelligent man is respected all over the world. An intelligent man is respected all over the world. Modi ji, we can say now he's intelligent, he says he's only graduate. So education is the thread of your success. And please do not forget that, and that's what Ashish also said, that he came and did his graduation all the way at the age of 32, whatever. Education is a key, not only for your success, but also for your value system. There is a very nice saying that a tutor gives you the skills. A tutor gives you the skills. A teacher gives you the knowledge. Tutor gives you the skills. Teacher gives you the knowledge. A mentor gives you the values. So you need to have a mentor. Values are very, very important. So I did all my education in a Marathi medium. I was a very mediocre student in my school. And I had a storytelling session last year in IMA conference where I touched upon some of these things. And I hope none of you were there. So this is not known to you. But I studied in a very small place called Nanded. How many of you know Nanded place, city? Nanded? So I belong to Nanded, or born and brought up in Nanded. My father was a school teacher in a government school, and you can imagine, I don't want to get into more details. I was a mediocre student, and when I was in the 10th class, our school decided that entire class of 10th should get minimum 75% marks. That was a mandate given to the class. And I was the one person who was surprised to that, because I knew I will never get a 75% mark. So my class teacher, a very smart lady, she knew that Sunil is the weakest link here. She called me one day to her office and she said, why don't you get transferred from section A to section B? You know, A tukdi madhe sagale hushar mula astat. So now we are laughing. So section A of the A class was intelligent boys and girls. B was next, C was next, and D was. So she said, I can ask you to go to the section of B or C, otherwise you have to promise me 75%. So I was confused, right? As a young boy, I said, I don't know, ma'am, you decide. So she was smart enough. She said, no, you stay in this class only. Prove it to me that you will get 75%. So I started studying, and limit रहता ना, कितना सीखेगा बहुत आदमी है. दिमाग का दही, दिमाग का लोचा, all those Sanjay Dutt fundas, right? So with great difficulty, I got 65% marks in my class. First time in my life, right? Now, even though I was not a 75% class, what it taught me, and that was the first lesson I learned, is that if you decide, if you have commitment to achieve something, you can achieve something. And I'll tell you, I was more praised in the classroom than all those boys who got 75% and 85%, because they all thought that I am going to take them down. And our entire class took first class. So this is one story of my life. I thought that teamwork is very, very important. Then of course I went to BCom, and I did in between 11th and 12th science, let me tell you that, you know that. And I couldn't get engineering, I was never an intellectual student, so I came back to BCom. 11th, 12th science was in English, so obviously I couldn't do anything in that. I came to BCom, and for some reason, I don't know what happened, and I call it accident of my life, biggest accident of my life. I stood first in the entire university of Marathwada University. And that time there was one university in the 7 districts. So around 30,000 students were studying in the university at that point of time, and I stood first in the gold medalist. So that changed my life. So another event which changed my life. I came to Pune, same city where I'm standing now, in the year 1984. Don't judge my age, please. I'm already a boy. I came to this city in the 1984 with one bicycle in my hand, and I should not say, but 50 rupees in my pocket. Right? And then I studied here. I did law. I was first in symbiosis law. I did my ICAA. Right? I did my master's in commerce. I did my company secretary. While doing all these things, I was working in the evening because there was no money. My father got retired and all these things. So my career started in this city, Pune. Then I worked in various multinational companies, Goodyear Tires, Goodyear South Asia Tires. Then I worked with Foster's Beer, Australian Beer. And then I worked for McDonald's. How many of you know McDonald's? So I was the CFO of McDonald's, I was the CFO of Foster's Beer. I was not a CFO of Goodyear, but I was a financial controller and company secretary. So all this journey taught me a lot of things. Biggest thing I learned in my life is how to manage people. And then after doing all these things, I went abroad. I failed many times. I first went to East Africa, came back within 6 months. There was AIDS everywhere in Africa, and I could see East Africa, Uganda, Kenya, not Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Malawi, and I was scared, right? So I came back. Then I went to South Africa, worked in South Africa almost for 2 years, again came back. The value system of my organization were not aligned to my value systems. So I said, no, I'm not going to compromise my values. I am a son of a school teacher. I have very hardly taught values, no corruption, no nonsense, you know, all those things. I came back. And then of course I joined McDonald's as a CFO. Then after McDonald's so I worked in finance field, all multiple roles. You name the role in finance, I have done that. There's nothing I have not done in different companies, in different positions, supply chain finance, financial planning and budgeting, you name it. ERP implementation, technology head. In 2006, I decided that I need to change my career and I wanted to become a CEO. And I got a mentor in between. And this mentor changed my life. And I'll tell that story maybe sometime later, not now. So I went abroad, I became a managing director of a very large fertilizer company, Indo-Jordan Chemicals, based in Jordan. Every single previous CEO of that company was an IIT gold medalist chemical engineer. First non-chemical engineer ran the company more successfully, more efficiently, more profitably. Then I moved to Singapore. I lived in Middle East for 5 years. I lived in Singapore for almost 10 years, 9.5 years. And then I returned to India in 2019 end, not knowing that COVID is going to come. All this process, during all these things, I continued my education. And why I'm telling you, I went to Oxford University for my advanced leadership management program. I went to Aspen Institute of Leadership Management in Colorado in America for my value-based leadership program. I did a graduation in applied positive psychology. I'm a certified counselor. I'm a certified coach worldwide. Every single coaching qualification in the world is with me. I coach CXOs, I coach founders, billionaires, I coach them one-on-one. I coach people for success. I coach people for happiness, right? Happiness is very, very important, and education is one step towards happiness, not guaranteed, but it is a right step towards happiness. And then of course my journey started. I got my CMA in between in Jordan, IMA, the US CMA. I should tell you that when I was in South Africa, I was doing my CIMA UK, now they call CGMA. But I couldn't afford it because the fees was in sterling pounds and I had a family to take care. So I was half intermediate complete of UK CIMA. I left it in between. And then I did a US CMA. It was much cheaper for me, to be frank. The criteria, Indian लोग कैसे सोचते हैं पैसा, right? तो मेरे पास तो पैसा नहीं था, लेकिन knowledge तो चाहिए था. कम सस्ते में क्या मिलता है, तो मैंने US CMA किया. And then I did that. But one theme which always excited me was, I'll say there's a nice share in Hindi. सैर कर दुनिया की गाफिल जिंदगानी फिर कहाँ, सैर कर दुनिया की गाफिल जिंदगानी फिर कहाँ, जिंदगी अगर कुछ रही तो नौजवानी फिर कहाँ. And for my Marathi friends, there is a similar one in Marathi. I don't know how many of you know that. केल्याने देशाटन पंडित मैत्री सभेत संचार, केल्याने देशाटन पंडित मैत्री सभेत संचार, मनुजा चातुर्य येत असे फार. So this was my very, always wanted to travel world over. I would have traveled, I don't know how many countries, 50 countries maybe. Worked all over the world except Russia, traveled, worked. My biggest contribution is, I always say that common sense to an uncommon degree is the wisdom you get in. So I learn from people. I learned from Sandra, how she's conducting such a nice session. I learned from, what's her name? Aditya. I learned from Aditya how confident they are. When I was of their age, maybe I was not that confident. So I miss that, standing on the stage like this, because I was a very popular boy in college. Because of my gold medalist, I was very common, and that's why my wife came to me, because she thought he is a smart boy. So I got my first recognition and reputation because I was the first CMA in my small town of Nanded. So my photo was printed, like you have my photo here. My photo was printed in Marathi newspapers. आपल्या शहरातला पहिला कॉस्ट अँड मॅनेजमेंट अकाउंटंट किंवा पहिला कॉस्ट अकाउंटंट. That was a big recognition and reputation for me. That day when I saw that, I decided that at some point of time, I need to give it back to my society, give it back to my finance profession. And when I decided to come back to India, obvious choice for me to go to my management accounting institute or this. Instead of going to Indian CWA, CMA, I went to US because they're more professional, right? So cutting long story short, my career with CMA or IMA, I won't say career, they don't pay for me. But I have done so much work in IMA, means you name anything in IMA, I know that. I worked in almost all committees. I was a dean of IMA's Leadership Academy. I have created beautiful programs for IMA, multiple programs. And I'm the first global chair of IMA, who 105 years history, never an Asian Indian person became that. I was the first person to. I jokingly say, before me there was one lady who was a global chair of IMA by name Gwen. Gwen lives in Amsterdam. So she was the first non-American to become the chair. So I say, I'm the first non-American male person to become the chair of IMA. But also that, IMA has given me everything. But what I'm trying to say is your knowledge, your intellectual, your education can take you places you do not know. But if you want to be successful in life, very, very important is you need to have discipline, you need to have commitment, you need to have resilience, agility, curiosity. The day you kill your curiosity, you are dead, I'm telling you. I'm still curious, right? I was saying how they are conducting this program nicely. I'm curious to learn from Ashish. I already had one session with him. I'm more curious to learn from Mrs. Ashish, how she found him after 8-9 years intact. So curiosity, even though there's a saying in English called curiosity killed the cat, please do not kill the cat. The day you will kill your curiosity, you are a dead person. So what got you here won't get you there. That's a famous saying by Marshall Goldsmith. Marshall Goldsmith is world's #1 coach. He says that what got you here? So you would think, oh, I became a CMA now, I'm everything done for me. No, that's only a start. So what got you here won't get you there. Means you have to keep on continuously learning, keep on continuously improving your skills, knowledge, expertise. So I think with this I will stop. One poem comes to my mind. I'm a little bit of a poetic person. I love enjoy my other side of my life, which I missed because of my corporate career and which now I enjoy. So there is a famous poem by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. How many of you know that? So I will not recite the entire poem, but the last stanza of the poem, which also applies to Ashish and your unique academy, is that two roads diverge in the yellow woods, and I chose the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So you chose the road less traveled by, and you are all have decided to choose the road less traveled by, and that's going to make a difference to you. But have patience. Nothing comes quickly, even though you want to have a like on your Facebook immediately. That is possible. But success in life is not a like on your Facebook or on your LinkedIn or on your Instagram. You have to have patience. And patience is the key in the life for everything. And I'm not saying patience means wait for 15 years or 10 years, but have at least patience of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And if you are a CMA student, you must complete your CMA. Fix your timeline for that. Do the goal setting. How many of you are going to write the exam? Raise your hands within the next 6 months. CMA exam.
Almost all of them.
All of them. How many of you guarantee me that you will pass the CMA exam within the next 6 months? I like the confidence. I would have never raised the hand like that. Take the pictures. Please take the pictures. I want to check with these guys. You also, okay. And all of you, once you become the CMA, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's not because it's my own institute, but it's going to change your life. I'm telling you. But don't only depend that once I've done CMA, I will get a nice girlfriend, I will get married, I will get a nice salary.
They have girlfriend right now.
If you have a girlfriend right now, then remember that you have to still complete the CMA. So I always tell you, I have two wives. One wife is my wife, and my second wife is IMA. I spend more time with IMA than my wife. So thank you very much. I think Ashish, I'll stop here, and then we can have a Q&A. Ask me anything question in your mind. Don't ask me about my girlfriends, but anything else. Thank you very much.
I think it's truly an inspiration. I think Sunil, more than professional, he's the nicest human being. Although I think it's very difficult to. I met him 3 times, 4 times, but we connected so well, and that's the best part of it. So the moral of the story: you become a professional, but best thing that you have to be a nicest human being on this planet. So I think Sunil, Arindam, and the whole IMA team requires a huge round of applause. Believe it or not, to get Sunil dates is very difficult. He's been traveling, he's current global chairperson. So you can understand to get, I think dates from him was so difficult, and we are fortunate and privileged today to have here in the podium with us. And I think definitely we're going to have a Q&A sessions, panel discussions, and wherein we're going to ask, I'm going to raise certain questions on behalf of you, and you also get an opportunity to raise questions, correct? So I think, Center.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Sunil sir. So many valuable insights. The best one I like, sir, this is the takeaway from my day, or say the quote of the month, I can say that education can take you to the places you have never known. A big round of applause. I'm truly touched about this quote.
ഓക്കെ, ലോകത്തിന്റെ ഏത് കോണിൽ പോയാലും നമ്മുടെ മലയാളികൾ എവിടെയാണെങ്കിലും മുന്നിലുണ്ടാവും പറയുന്നത് ശരിയല്ലേ? Am I right, ma'am? I guess she got it. It's a Malayali.
Go anywhere in this world, you find a Malayali.
You find it. It's a common saying in Malayalam though. So, moving on. Now, with great admiration, let me invite to the stage Viyanza B. Pookkod, with 13 years of experience in business development, strategy marketing, and client relationship management. Viyanza has made significant contributions to the industry. Her professional journey includes notable associations with professional and prestigious organizations such as Dun & Bradstreet, the Chartered Institute for Securities and Investments, CISI, and Emeritus, a graduate of Mumbai University with an MBA and an alumni of MIT Sloan. Viyanza has continually pursued excellence in every endeavor she has taken. She has also earned a certificate in psychological first aid from Johns Hopkins University, further showcasing her commitment to holistic growth and development.
We are privileged to have you with us today, and we are honored to felicitate you, ma'am, for your outstanding achievements.
Let me call upon Ashish sir too for felicitating Viyanza ma'am for her well-deserved recognition.
Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?
Do you know the best way to predict the future?
Sandra, I might not, but Abraham Lincoln does.
Okay, the best way to predict the future is, any one of you, can you complete it? What Abraham Lincoln said?
Yes,
Anybody?
please.
Yes,
You're absolutely
yes,
right.
to
And
predict.
that's exactly why you all are here. By pursuing CMA US, you are just not hoping for success, but actively creating it.
Okay, so let's start on a productive note.
May I know आप में से कौन-कौन LinkedIn पे है? Yes. Very less hands. So whoever is not on LinkedIn, just install it right after the event concludes, and do follow Unique Global Education.
And hey, why do we use LinkedIn, by the way?
Connections, opportunity, networking, job exploration, right?
Yep. But don't you think this event is going to give you much more than what LinkedIn going to offer?
Yes, indeed. Students, just take out your notepads. You have got on the registration desk and put your questions. We'll be having a Q&A session after the event concludes.
With great respect, may I now invite Mr. Sunil Deshmukh, Mr. Arindam Ghosh, and Mr. Ashish Parikh to kindly grace the stage for proceeding with our next section, that is question answers discussion.
Yes. Yes, good evening everyone again, and welcome to our panel discussions. Here I'm going to raise certain questions to Sunil and Arindam, and they're going to answer this question, and definitely it will help you a lot. So please उसको थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनोगे आप, correct? And definitely you also get an opportunity to ask questions to Sunil and Arindam. I don't think so now they both need any introduction, so you all know it very well. Sunil, Arindam, as our audience is comprised of students pursuing CMA US, and I'm sure they are eager to learn from your experiences. And my first question starts with Arindam. Leadership and corporate skills are essential in corporate world. Along with the curriculum, what steps can students take during their studies to develop these skills effectively?
First of all, thank you. It's a wonderful and very, very targeted question, Ashish. That's definitely the question which is there in every one of our mind. See, practically, even though while I was kind of introducing and kind of talking to all of you, I didn't really give a little background of me. Maybe I'll just take about a minute before I answer this. So I am not a typical finance professional as you would all love me to be. I am more of a business professional, okay? And this is my fortunate chance to be amongst all of you who are with august presence of definitely Mr. Deshmukh, Mr. Parikh, and the kind of intellectual people around you, people like you. However, I have my own set of experiences over the last 24 years in multiple corporates, as in the initial introduction saying. So I am, even though I am a master's in commerce, way back in, I'm a 1998 commerce postgrad from Calcutta University. So I'm a Bengali, I belong to Calcutta till 2000. However, what happened was that while I was doing MBA, MCOM, I was also continuing with my chartered accountancy. I qualified for the foundation. I was preparing for the inter at that point in time, part 1. But somehow CAT happened to me, okay? And CAT is the common admission test, okay? And I got a chance in IMA Calcutta. So then there was practically everybody told, chartered accountancy will take 4 to 5 years time. Go for IIMs, look at options like that. So kind of I was a 98-2000 pass out, and then I started off in my corporate. So coming to the why I wanted to give this kind of a connotation to what Ashish's question is that with my experience over different kind of sectors, whether you call it advertising, product management, project management, and this business incubation. For the last 14 years, I was with one of the biggest names across the globe. So I was with Tata's, and I was basically as a chief business officer for incubating new businesses. 3 of the names, out of which one is very common, the Tata Click, so probably all of you would have heard of. So that was a business I incubated. The other one that I incubated was, obviously it was a team of CXOs which we did, but obviously being a business officer, one of the important thing was that to incubate and make it bigger, okay? And then we were able to kind of sell it off to the bigger Tata entities. Other was a Tata Interactive, that was a e-learning. And the last part that I was handling till I kind of chose to come into IMA, and thankfully so, was was a EdTech division of Tata. It's called Tata ClassEdge. Now, long story short, what is very important is that while it's important for all of you to learn the curriculum well, what's important is also to have a very vast perspective of having how the business works in real corporate life together. What I'm trying to mean is that it's very important that you have your own understanding of core subjects. So that's the technicality. So that's like a baseline. So if you are not really well out there, good out there, you don't even qualify for the job. So that's the first thing. But just because you are good in your technical learning, okay, so here the technical is basically the CMAs, or let's say the finance technicalities, that will not be enough going forward when you are actually getting into the job. Because you always need to be upping your ante and making sure that you are really, at the top of your game. So if you really want to be at the top of your game, what's important is that have a varied look. Please ensure that as a student also try to be as much participative as many kind of programs as possible. So when you were in college, or if you were still in college, try to be actively involved in all the kind of programs. So let's say if you have any events happening, be an active part of an event manager. And event management for college, even though so nascent it looks, but it actually gives you a lot of leadership skills, communication skills, operational qualities, okay, lot of things. So it is apparently what I'm going to talk about are practical skills that's going to be very, very important in corporate. So that's definitely one. Keep your horizons vast. Two, look into cross-functional expertise also. Okay, just don't think that it's only finance that's important. Yes, that's important because that's your core area. But apart from finance, what's also important is that expand your horizon. Cross-functional knowledge, domain knowledge is extremely important. The more you grow in your career, it's important that you cannot have a blind-sided vision or a hind-sided vision that I will only do this. Probably you are seeing Mr. Deshmukh being a CFO, moving into a CEO. One of the obvious things, and I have seen it happen over the last 23-24 years of my own career, that many of them are able to make that transition because they have never limited themselves as a finance professional specialist only. They have a variety of knowledge. They have always taken up challenges which is cross-functional. Okay, they would have looked into operations, they would have looked into production, they would have looked into, you name it, definitely yes. Still they are CA or CS or ICW or whatever. The core remains the same, but that is an important point which all of you should look into. So that's my suggestion to all of you.
That's great insights, I think. And Sunil, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, just always remember that as a student, there is the concept of three-legged stool. Anyone have heard this story? Three-legged stool. Imagine a stool with the three legs, right? If you want to balance the stool with the three legs, it's not that easy, like a four-legged stool, right? So three legs of the stool, one leg is your functional expertise, which is your CMA, CA, CFA, whatever it is. And you have to get that. So you are right now in the stage one. So all the three legs need to be equally strong, equal size, height, length, width, whatever. So one leg is the functional expertise. Second leg is the technology enabling your functional expertise. Imagine you are a chartered accountant, management accountant, CMA, and you don't know how to work in SAP, or you don't know how to work in Oracle Financial, or you don't know how to work in Tally. You are of no use. In today's world, you have to know the technology which is driving your functional expertise. You have to find out what is that functional expertise. Do you want to learn Excel first? Do you want to learn Tally first? Or do you want to learn Oracle or Tableau or whatever is there? So that is leg number 2. Third leg, which is always missed by most of the people, and that's why there is a difference between a manager and leader, is called your ability to work with the people, or I call it emotional intelligence. How do you work with the people? How do you manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of people around you? So self-emotions and emotions, how do you work in team? How do you communicate? Are you able to storytell? You are a fantastic CFO, but you don't know how to present the numbers to the board of directors or the shareholders. What's the use of that? So these three legs, and third leg, which is emotional intelligence, is a continuous process. I'm still learning. I did a graduation in sustainability in the month of June because I thought ESG and sustainability is the topic which I don't have enough knowledge. So now I think I got some knowledge now, not as much as Ashish is adding. But so you have to keep on doing all these things. So three-legged stool, always remember all the three legs need to be equally strengthened by you all the time. You have passed CMA, let's say I passed CMA in let's say 2009, 2010. But my knowledge of management accounting needs to be up to date even today. And that's why there are CPE programs, continuing professional education programs, so we can keep. Well, I think these three things, if you understand very well, no problem.
Thank you very much for wonderful insights. I think Sunil and Arindam, we always, I always tell my students, we teach, correct? I think we are tutor and we are academy. So being academicians, we have to deliver the best quality. But only teaching is not sufficient. along with teaching, we have drafted approximately 150 hours of corporate grooming programs, wherein we're going to train them for Excel, Advanced Excel, Power BI, step you just mentioned. Apart from that, most important is your English communications and soft skills. Without communication, even though you can see Sunil has pursued his basic education from vernacular medium, he's thorough, correct? Now, he's a great communicator, he's a great orator. Communication is a practice that you have to do it every single day. Without communication, you can't communicate your ideas to the management. And if you can't communicate your ideas to the management, you won't be able to survive in corporates, correct? So, along with this, I think teaching part, we approximately cater 300 hours. And apart from teaching, we focus mainly on English communications, soft skills, and for sure financial modeling, equity research. There are many practical aspects to it, and I think thank you very much for this wonderful insights. Sunil, this question for you. I think this is very important question. Please listen this very carefully, and if you don't understand the question, you can raise your hand. I can repeat the question again, correct? Sunil, I do remember very well on 16th of November in Chennai conference, we met, and you described AI as an animal. AI, artificial intelligence, आजकल बहुत सुनाई दे रहा है ना आज में. AI as an animal, since AI is such a trending topic, what specific advice would you give to students regarding its role in CMA US curriculum?
Yeah, thanks Ashish for remembering that. And whenever I use any word, I use with a lot of care. I intentionally use the word animal, and the logic behind that is there are two types of animals: wild animals and tamed animals, right? As of now, artificial intelligence is a wild animal. How many of you know that artificial intelligence can be managed or tamed? You don't know. It's still opening up. It's new. So it's your duty to ensure that you learn artificial intelligence and manage that artificial intelligence as an animal now become like your dog or your cat who listens to you. So I hope there are no people from PETA here who are going to object to me, right? Okay. You're giving wrong example. So artificial intelligence is going to change our lives 100%. I would always say that when one door gets closed, another door gets opened. What does that mean? It is not going to take away your job, but it is going to impact your jobs in a different way. If you do not know how to work in an environment which is driven by artificial intelligence, you are outdated. And I'm telling you, how many of you use the chat GPT? Raise the hands.
Almost all.
So all of you know, right? How many of you know that how much power is consumed by chat GPT? No one knows, right? Obviously, that's why I'm asking the question. So one human being, our brain, see, our brain is our own chat GPT, artificial intelligence, natural intelligence. So we use 12 watts of power in a day to think or do anything or whatever, right? In a day. Chat GPT uses 500 times the electricity to create that knowledge base for you. You know how it works, right? There's a data, they have to process the data, whatever last 50 years data, and there's a cut-off date and all those things. What I'm trying to say is that the power of chat GPT, electricity consumption, power consumption of chat GPT is much, much higher today. That's why it's not profoundly used or available. Within 2 years, chat GPT power consumption will come down drastically. Technology is growing very fast. I interact with people in San Jose and California and Bay Area because of my IMA profession and plus my personal interest. I interacted for our global board in USA in Dallas 2 months back. I invited people from California to speak on artificial intelligence. It is going to change our life. Be prepared. Do not get scared. There is nothing to scare about ChatGPT. And I was in the headquarters of Novartis in Basel in Switzerland a few months back. And I was talking to their chief technology officer. And he made a very beautiful statement which I still remember. He said the language of world today, the language of world means the language of digital world today, not digital world, is English. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, no need to learn Python and Java and COBOL and anything, because now you need to know how to use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT understands only English language. So you need to know both English language and ChatGPT. And of course, there is a technology or there is a science called prompt engineering. How to ask the right question to your Google or to your ChatGPT. There is a science behind that. You should know that. So please do not get worried about ChatGPT, but do not exclude it from. मेरे को इससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है, वो तो इंजीनियर लोगों का काम है. It is going to impact you. I'm telling you, it is 100% going to impact you. So be prepared. Start studying. Start learning. Start using it.
That's great. I think, Sunil, thank you so much for taking time to answer that question. Would you like to add something to it?
I think most points have been anyway covered very well. I'll just bring in a slightly different perspective. Though I belong to a yester era, I do not know how many of you would have come across a movie like Terminator. The first one, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Have anybody heard that name? Okay, so I was like taken off my feet the moment first time I saw Terminator, not because of the movie, but because of the way it thought and projected that at some point in time, artificial intelligence will rule human beings. Okay, and probably, I'm seeing to some extent, it's really happening around. It might sound scary, but please understand, it is us who have created it. So no matter what, natural intelligence or human intelligence will always pervade. And this is how Darwinism theory always works also. Survival of the fittest. So the way to look forward is that, one, you have to accept it first of all to learn it better. You cannot put a blinder to your eye and think that it doesn't matter to me because I am a finance professional, I am not getting into technology. Now technology is in every part of our life. We cannot deny that. So the first thing is that start embracing the fact as early as you start embracing it, start accepting it, things will be better for you. One. Second is that, we as human beings will always be afraid of things until and unless we are sitting with it. You sit with whatever technology you talk about. Obviously, you don't need to be a coder, as very correctly told by Sir out here. The prompt engineering, how you ask those questions to a artificial intelligence engine like a ChatGPT, is ultimately the most intelligent thing that you can do as a student of finance also. But embrace that change. Take the technology as an extension for doing your mundane works, which otherwise we needed to do maybe 10 years back. Is something which the technology will do it, those repetitive works very, very efficiently and without much of a problem. But how do you ride on that animal? Again, taking that terminology, is about you have to know when exactly to sit on the top of the animal and where to sit. So that when and where is about accepting the fact and then learning about it. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for great insights. I think artificial intelligence is created by human intelligence. We do not have to learn coding, but we need to understand how to use that application. Sunil, I think, I always get confused, and might be the also a correct question. Any specific application that, being a CMA US aspirant, they need to learn? Because artificial intelligence is a general word, correct? So, can you give some insights on certain applications that they should have that knowledge?
So, one is obviously, see, as a finance profession, you must know how to use ERP system. I'm just going a little bit backwards, artificially. If you do not know how to work in an ERP system, you can't work. I jokingly say that, how many of you know the 3 basic rules of accounting? Personal account, nominal account, real account. How many of you know?
I think जो हाथ ऊपर नहीं करे उनको क्या, they are not from commerce background.
I am really happy to see that Ashish, this is kudos to you and your class. I asked this question in US, I asked this question in Amsterdam, and I asked the exact rules. In today's world, with due respect, I don't want to malign anyone. Hardly 5% students were able to tell me the answer. Outside India, So, congratulations to you. At least you raised the hand. I don't want to ask you. I know some of you will know, some of you may not know, but majority of you know, right? Now, if you do not know these 3 basic rules, how do you know the system is going to work?
Ritual.
ERP system, right? So one is you need to know work in ERP, that's first. Second is you need to know the business intelligence softwares, which is Tableau or type of Tableau, Python, business objects or... See, what happens as a finance professional, one is you need a data which is generated through your ERP system, so that's base. Then you need to create insights out of that data, which is through a management information system, which is generated through a Tableau or whatever different types of softwares. And third is, you need to be smart enough to use both these things for your benefit or your organization's benefit. And that's where the smart decision making comes in. Maybe ChatGPT will help you, but not 100%. Some of the things which are coming today is robotics process automation, RPA. I don't know how many of you have heard of RPA. Robotics process automation is used extensively in the corporate world nowadays, where there's a huge data. Everything is done through RPA, reconciliations, and audit trails and everything. No one does nowadays manually. So you need to understand RPA. But these things you will only learn when you get into the job. If you are able to learn it before you get into the job, nothing like that. But the pyramid of spending time on transaction processing and spending time on decision making is getting reversed nowadays. So when we started, so he's still much younger than me, when I started my job, I used to spend 70% of my time in data entry, booking the vouchers, creating the sales invoice. Bank reconciliation was a big demon in our life. Everything was manual and banks will, nowadays you don't do all those things. That's all taken care of by the system. So you have a lot of time available in your hands. So that time you have to use in applying your mind on those insights which are generated through the data. So for that there are new softwares coming. I don't want to name them because they are still studying CMA. But something like, let's say, business objects or something like, which will help you to interpret data, create a presentation, you should know that.
Thanks, Sunil. Thank you very much. I think, let me add, when you ask this question, how many of them you know this 3 golden rules of accounting? Let me go a little beyond that. This is not related to the question, but I think, Sunil, I'm very sure when they learn CMA US, conceptual clarity is most important. I'll raise one question to all of you. Listen to this question very carefully. We prepare trading and profit and loss account? Yes. Awaaz nahi aa rahi? Yes. When we write closing stock? Very good. When we write closing stock? Wonderful. And second effect? Wow, wonderful. That's great. And what is the nature of trading and profit and loss account? So profit and loss ki baat aati, it's always nominal. Debit or losses and expenses, credit or incomes and gains. Okay. Now my question to all of you. So I think next time when you go to Amsterdam, you ask this question. Make sure you tell me what was the response. Why you write closing stock on credit side of P&L account? The nature of P&L account is nominal, credit all incomes and gains. Okay, closing stock is an income? First question. So why we write? या तो रूल गलत है, रूल के हिसाब से तो ये होना चाहिए क्लोजिंग स्टॉक सब लोग दूसरी चेहरे देख रहे हैं,
मेरे को भी डर लग रहा है, मुझे तो आंसर बता.
So I think I raise this question almost everywhere. I raise this question. See, I think a logical question is you write closing stock on credit side, and the nature of trading and profit and loss account is nominal, credit all incomes and gains, but closing stock is not an income. Closing stock is lying in a warehouse. तो जो warehouse में वो income कैसे हो सकता है? तो वो income नहीं तो क्या rule गलत है? Yes. Anyone?
Asset for balance sheet.
नहीं वो तो ठीक है, that's asset. I'm talking about trading and profit and loss account right now.
Reversal of expense.
Reversal of expense, you might can say, but not a justified answer. Anyone can give me a very justified answer?
So this year's closing stock is next year's opening stock.
Next year's opening stock, correct? It's a next year income. It's going to sell next year. So why we are recognizing in current year? Current year profit and loss account should recognize only current year income and current year expense. Hello?
Yes.
Sunil, should I ask you this question?
Don't ask. I am really getting scared now. Now I know why he called me today here.
So I think this is where the concept is a matching principle, correct? If you don't write closing stock over there, then I think CA Mohit sir, I think you can cover it. I think Mohit sir answer दे दो उसका, तो ज़्यादा better होगा. Yes, you can. I think mine.
Mohit sir accounts पढ़ाते हैं, FM पढ़ाते हैं Mohit sir.
I think उसको
नहीं सर, आशीष सर वेरी करेक्टली सेड, मैचिंग कंसेप्ट होता है एंड आइडियली हमें द करेक्ट ट्रीटमेंट इज वो परचेस में से लेस होके क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में जाना चाहिए, बट जस्ट अ वे ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन कि हम लोग परचेस में से माइनस नहीं करते हुए क्रेडिट साइड में लिखते हैं, इसीलिए कभी कभी जब एडजस्टेड परचेस अकाउंट बनता है तो हम लोग either way is just a way of presentation, actually परचेस में से माइनस होना चाहिए एंड असेट साइड में जाना चाहिए, वही मैचिंग कंसेप्ट.
Without iPad and without iPad and without वो समझा थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा, but I think this is where the conceptual clarity comes into picture. 11th 12th में हम 100 out of 100 स्कोर तो कर लेते हैं, but at the end if you ask this question तो उसका आंसर कोई नहीं कर पाता है. And CMA US is an examination. If you don't focus on concept, definitely you won't be able to clear the examination. So I think Sunil, I'm really sorry to divert this discussion, but next time you definitely ask this question.
I will ask, and before that I will know the answer.
Sunil, this question for you. After clearing 2 papers of CMA US, I think this is in general question for I think they all thinking of this question. After clearing 2 papers of CMA US, what job opportunities can students expect in India and global markets? What is your take on this?
So, see, you can always expect a job in financial planning and analysis, FP&A normally बोलते हैं उसमें. That's the ideal way to go ahead. But I always say that any job in finance profession, do not reject it. Take the job, because every time you may not get the ideal job what you want to get. But working in a manufacturing organization, working in a, let's say, financial organization like a bank, working in finance department, maybe in accounting department, maybe in financial planning department, maybe in accounts payable, accounts receivable, I would say take it what it comes. Very important is you need to show your knowledge that you still understand all those things. Of course, financial planning and budgeting is the ideal role for a management accountant. But for me, it took 3 years to get into financial planning and budgeting in my life. But once I got in, then I proved that I'm better than others. So take it, number 1. Number 2, I always tell, do not discriminate that this company is good and that company is bad. You choose what type of company you want to work, but you may not get a job there, right? It's okay. Working in bank, financial institution, insurance companies, manufacturing companies, nowadays service organizations of the world, hospitals, hospitality industry, finance and accounting is the most globally accepted profession. You need accountant and finance professional everywhere in the world, right? There is no discrimination there. Take that job. If you want to grow globally, obviously you will need some experience to go globally. No one will take you as a fresher to USA. There is a concept called global capability centers. How many of you know that India is the world's capital of global capability centers? Raise the hands. Because I told you. So I have written an article in a Saka, you read Saka newspaper in Pune. So they publish every month a magazine called Saka Money, Money, Money. So this month's article you please read. I have sent you I think on a WhatsApp. I have written a full article on global capability centers in India. For you, the best job is to get and join a global capability centers. In global capability centers, you will have all types of jobs, account, finance, financial planning, budgeting, MIS, and these are all global companies setting up their offices in India. So you will get an international exposure also. So that is the one way to get global recognition or start working. We were in a Ford Motor Company in headquarters in Chennai a few months back. I was in Global Capability Center of Novartis and then in Hamburg. I have seen many companies. That is the ideal job for anyone, but you don't know. A lot of our CMAs in Pune work in banking sector. I don't know our chapter members are here today or not. I would say take a job, but remember in first job, you have to learn a lot. In addition to your functional expertise, how to work in teams, how to work with the people, that's very important.
Thank you very much, Sunil. I appreciate your answer. And I think one more question to Arindam. The CMA US curriculum includes financial reporting, paper 1, financial management, paper 2. Based on your corporate experience, how can students connect these subjects to real world practices?
Very relevant question. So, the first week, or rather the first 15 days, when I joined IMA, in fact, I was trying to relate to the subject, core subject, and relate to my own corporate experience and see how my colleagues out in all the other companies were really working. So I think the first thing, the FP&A, okay, that's about the financial planning, budgeting, forecasting, is what actually in real life business happens. Okay, more so I think India today have an ecosystem, fantastic ecosystem in fact, of new businesses. So what we typically call it as startups. And as Mr. Deshmukh was also talking about the GCCs, I think these are the two great opportunities today in your generation, okay, which you can really explore, where you can have your FP&A budgeting and your forecasting kind of an area of expertise. Once you have become an CMA, you can really have a very good launch pad out there, because before you move into the corner office of a CFO, you need people who are very good with data analytics. They are able to interpret the data, synthesize the data, and present it in a storytelling manner. I think that is what connects the dot between what is being taught very, very practically in US CMA, and that's where it's also the difference, because it gives you the core of making you understand how it works, and in real life businesses, that's what the understanding makes a lot of a difference. So that's the way I think it really works in the corporates.
Thank you for sharing your expertise, Arindam. And Sunil, one question for you. You always emphasize the need for leaders over followers in organization. How can students develop leadership skills while continuing their academics?
And thanks for asking me the question, and I think this is really the most important question in your life today and even in my life also, even today, right? One is you need to develop your leadership capabilities when you are young and able to change yourself, right? The best opportunity for you to, number one is join IMS Pune chapter, number one, right? And as a student, you can always come and attend any of our functions. No need to pay any money to the chapter of IMA in Pune or Mumbai or anywhere. Attend as many conferences, as many events. Like he came to Chennai conference this month. Do that. Storytelling, learn storytelling skills. If you know Toastmaster, anyone heard Toastmaster?
It's very good.
Very few, right? See, your communication skills are very, very important. Do that. Someone asked LinkedIn. How many of you are on LinkedIn? How many of you are connecting to me on LinkedIn? Very few. Number one, connect. I'm not in, but LinkedIn doesn't pay anything to me for that. But connect with the right type of people on LinkedIn. Read the comments, I have been writing a blog on LinkedIn consistently for last 5 years every month. I choose one topic and write a blog. This month's blog I have written is on humility. I met Dr. R.A. Mashelkar and Dr. Vijay Kelkar. Vijay Kelkar was a planning commission chair of India, cost account. He brought in the GST. He's the creator of GST. So I met these two gentlemen and I have written a story, what I learned from them. Leadership is all about encompassing as much as you can through meeting different people, interacting with people. Try to find out a mentor for you. I'm again coming back to mentoring, and I always tell that identifying your mentor is not a speed dating. You understand, right? Speed dating, how many of you know speed dating? India में नहीं चलता है speed dating, मुझे मालूम है. Singapore में speed dating करते हैं because people in Singapore don't want to get married. So what they do, they arrange speed dating sessions, and like you play that Sangeet Kurchi, what you call musical chair. So they bring 10 boys, and this real story, I'm not creating from my mind. I've lived in Singapore. So once what has happened, I was sitting in a meeting, and suddenly they thought I am part of that because I was behind. So they said, why don't you come on this side? I said, no, I'm not that side. So they play a musical chair, so they give 5 minutes to each girl and boy to sit with each other and talk to understand and see if there is a connection. That's called speed dating. Finding your mentor is not a speed dating. I'm repeating it again. You must have a mentor. You identify your mentor. And once a mentor, always a mentor. I have 4 mentors in my life who changed my life. And now I have a philosophical mentor also, who teaches me philosophy of life, and which I told you. Identify a mentor. Leadership is a very, very complicated topic, I'm telling you. But if you learn it, you will go places. I decided that I want to prove to the world a CFO can become a CEO. When I was a CFO, there were very few examples of a chief financial officer getting into the C-suite as a CEO. I wanted to change that. I learned that. So please learn your leadership lessons. Leadership is not easy, but it's not impossible. Leaders can be created, developed, they are not born. Only political leaders are born. 3 generations mein aata hai.
I don't know about that.
Corporate leaders are not born. You can become a corporate leader. And I gave an example last time, I don't know, in Chennai conference. Dare to dream. Dare to dream is that I had a dream to become a global chair of IMA. I proved it. It took me time.
Yes.
It didn't happen overnight. So you have to dare. If you want to become a leader, you have to dream. And dream big. Not that I want to go from one place to another place and I want to reach within 15 minutes. That's a small dream. I have a big dream as a leader.
That's great. Well said. Thank you very much for valuable insights, Sunil. I think they must like the concept of speed dating. They must have thinking about
Yeah,
that.
they would have liked it. Yeah.
And you must have get lucky at the time, correct? I think Sunil himself, is a true inspiration for leadership, and organization need leaders. They don't need followers. You participate in such events also like Sandra did, Aditya did, correct? That will develop your leadership skills. As Sunil mentioned, you should participate in chapters in your respective cities, correct? So you participate over there, you attend conferences, you connect to LinkedIn, correct? आजकल सब लोग इंस्टा पे तो होते हैं, but they don't like LinkedIn because I don't know, and that was it. I think you want to add something to this leadership.
I mean, it's very important and very, very invigorating listening to all the talks out here. I'll just give you a very simple and practical approach, which I felt I have followed in my life. I don't know whether, I definitely have not achieved what the people on the other side of my table are. But I think, you are still probably students, so you still have your opportunities to be involved in multifaceted things that happens around you. What I'm trying to say is that, as I was saying, that I do remember, along with my academics, I always used to be a debater. I always used to be, in all the kind of, whether you call it a kind of a clubs of the schools, clubs of the college, any kind of interact club or stuff like that. What it helps you to do, it's actually helps you build the leadership from below. So it's not that you are trying very hard to do things, but because you are multifaceted, you are actually trying to do many things together. Because in today's complex world, you have to have the ability to juggle, okay? And you also have to have your ability to zoom in and zoom out. So you will have, in a real corporate scenario, you will always be hard pressed for time, and you will always have deadlines and hard stops on particular deadlines. So if you cannot be actually doing multiple things together but still have your focus at something when it is required, this is a skill which you have to develop while you are a student. And the opportunities as a student is vast. Definitely now you are in a professional education format. You have chapters like a fantastic chapter like IMA's chapter. During my education days I didn't have. So what I did was that I never said no to any kind of co-curriculars and extracurriculars, whether it was in colleges days or whether it was in my school days. So, and I do remember, my parents really freaking out and said that this guy is going bonkers, he wants to be in everything. But I also do remember my principal always trying to counsel my parents and said, if this guy is able to manage his time, okay, what we typically call time management, let him do. And today I think, it was probably a wise choice that I could have done that. And that's where you really excel. So what I'm only trying to say is that yes, you have formal structures of learning leadership, but at the same point in time, at your age, do explore informal ways. And all these things will add value. It will add that confidence. It will add that self-belief that yes, I can manage multiple things at multiple point in time, but still deliver what is expected out of me. That's something which I think I just want to add.
I just want to add to this, very important if you want to be a good leader, networking. If you do not network, I'm not saying introvert cannot be a leader, there are cases, but most of the leaders are network. And networking does not happen on WhatsApp, networking does not happen on Instagram, leadership networking I'm talking. On LinkedIn it can do. So you have to, your network is your network, and I can tell you, I have created one of the success factor of, when people ask me how do you define your success, I said networking. Like that Vidya Balan says, entertainment. I say networking. You name the country, you said you're going there, I will put you 2 people who will meet you there because Sunil said he's by. And I'm challenging you. I have introduced people to IMA in USA where they were not knowing that something like, I signed with IMA USA MOU with International Coaching Federation. So your network is only your first job you should get by making an application and going for an interview. Your second job onwards should be only through your network. And I'll tell you a small story. My son started respecting me 6 months back, my eldest son. He's a data scientist, he's an assistant vice president in a fintech company. So why he respected me after a long time in his life, he said, Dad, first time I realized that networking is important because he got job because of networking. And then he realized why his dad is talking about networking. Because no interview, just a job. And he became an AVP of a very large startup fintech company through a network. So your network is your network, and it's not a fun, I'm telling you, it is really network.
Network is your network and leader to be a leader. Sunil, but I think it's very difficult to be a leader by reading books. Definitely you get inspiration, you get some insights of that author. But until and unless you don't get into it, like if you really want to learn swimming, correct, by watching the videos, would you be able to learn swim? It's not possible. Correct, you have to jump into the water, you have to take the efforts. As Sunil mentioned, you have to do networking, it's damn important. Sunil, I think I'm very weak in networking, and I think you're the first person that you taught me what networking is all about. Because we are teachers, we enter into classroom 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and we get out of 6, 7 in the evening, and after that, when you talk for 8, 9 hours, and it's very difficult to get into the networking. I'm not teaching since last 1 year, and you won't believe, in this last 1 year, I met approximately 25 people like you, and that's where today the global education is, grooming, and we are going. I think we are achieving one more milestone. And a year back we didn't have any international course, and today in our PT we have CMA US, CFA US, ACCA UK. Within 1 month we're going to have CPA US, FRM. CFP. So this is all because of networking. This is all because of networking. आप में से बहुत से लोग सोच रहे हो कि सर lecture लेने क्यों नहीं आए? Because if I do lecture is a responsibility, correct? If I start any lecture, then I can't leave in between. मुझे Chennai conference जाना है, but I can't go because I have that responsibility, moral responsibility. But now I'm out of that teaching, and because of that, Unique has achieved this milestone. And thanks to my team and who supported me a lot. I think without this team, it never would have been possible that I can get out of the classroom and I can achieve this. I think.
Just want to add on a networking. I personally feel everything in the world is networking.
Very true.
One is you need to have a mentor, because a mentor's network becomes your network. Never forget that.
Very true.
I'm telling you, my mentor has introduced me. I can tell you, Mashelkar. I met R.A. Mashelkar, who is a Padma Vibhushan, 45 PhDs, India's most decorated scientist. I met him only because of my mentor, called him and tell him, hey, you should meet Sunil. And I thought he would say no. He said, yes, I would like to meet him. And I've written a story on that. So your mentor's network becomes your network. You should have a role model. Now when I say role model, don't tell me Sachin Tendulkar is my role model, Virat Kohli. You're not going to become Sachin Tendulkar and Virat Kohli, right? Unless you're playing cricket. Choose your role model very carefully. your role model should be your inspiration, and find out what are the good things in that role model. Take only those good things. Don't try to become Vinod Kamli. Right? I don't know how many of you know Vinod Kamli. So role modeling is very, very important, and your mentor will definitely add value. I'll tell you one small story. So I did this global graduation in sustainability, and this lady who runs the program from Canada called Hella Bank Jorgensen. So she is a CEO of that competent boards company, and I was a student in the classroom. And I connected with Hella, and she was with me last full 1 week. She stayed with me at my home in Pune. That's the power of networking. She is world's top 3 leaders on sustainability, on ESG. She speaks at Davos, she speaks at United Nations, World Economic Forum, you name it. But your power of network, on my request, she traveled from Canada 1 week to India, and I showed her my network. I took her to many places in Mumbai, Nagpur, Ahmedabad, Pune, and she was shocked. So what I'm saying is your network will add value to you, but return on investment on network is delayed. Be prepared for that. Do not expect that मेरा आशीष भाई का पंचायत हो गया मेरे को कल जॉब मिलना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होता है बॉस. Network and network are very important, but return on investment is always delayed. Be prepared for it.
Thank you very much, Sunil. Thanks a lot for your great insights and perception. From my side, last question, but I think they have many questions. And this question definitely going to relate. This generation is called Gen Z generation. They're known for being smart. Yes or no? Yes. आवाज तो नहीं आ रही है? Intelligent and great with technology. हमें तो बहुत दिक्कत होती है. We get really tough time. Many of them aim to become billionaires, but they prefer not to work on weekends and want to limit their work to 40 hours a week. What's your take on this? You understood the question? अच्छा एक सेकंड. आप में से किसी लोगों को मिलियनेयर नहीं बनना है? नहीं बनना है?
I want to be a multi-millionaire.
Great. कितने लोगों को मिलियनेयर बनना है?
किसी को नहीं बनना है.
बिलियनर बनने लगता है. But you don't want, मतलब see, the nowadays the trend has been started weekend off. US trend 40 hours a week. No, US people if they work like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, so 8 into 5, 40 hours, and if they work 1 hour extra, they creep like anything. I work too hard, it's my boss is sucks. They say many things, correct? If you really want to be a millionaire, then 40 hours a week, weekends off, what's your take on this?
So, let me tell you 2 stories here. If your passion is your profession and you can convert it into a commercial proposal, you can become millionaire very quickly. If you are Sachin Tendulkar, if you are Virat Kohli, or if you are, let's say, what is that, Ananya Pandey nowadays, you say, right? You can become millionaire very quickly, or even billionaire for that matter. How many of you think you can become like that? Right? Obviously not, right? So you have to work hard. Remember, we have 1.4 billion population in this country. We are still a developing nation. In a developing nation, if you want to really become rich, you have to work hard. I'm not going to say 40 or 42 hours or whatever, when I have lived world over, I have traveled world over, I have seen people. But the path to success, and success does not necessarily mean only money and mean rich. Path to success is never an easy path. Be prepared to fail, get up, and you will realize at some point of time, money has no value. But you will not understand at this age. I have understood after so many years.
For the money is everything. Right?
For the money. But if you have a passion and that convert that passion into profession, you will become rich and you will become happy also. Find out what's your passion. I would tell you 90% of you sitting here do not know what is your passion. You are doing CMA because your friend is doing CMA, or your dad has told you to do CMA, or you want to earn a good salary, that's why you are doing CMA. Is that your passion? Don't know. So try to find out your passion and explore. Be prepared to change your profession over a period of time. I change my profession every 5 years. I change my job or my profession. Now I do leadership coaching, right? Nothing to do with finance and all those things. But you have to know that what is your passion, what makes you happy, and then don't chase the money. Money should come to you on its own. Your first job, again I'm coming to the first job. Your first job is the only job where you ask for money and you go for interview. Your second job onwards, money should come to you, job should come to you through your network and network.
That's very true. Sachin Tendulkar never played cricket for money. He played cricket for passion. So money follows. Correct. I think you want to share your perception to it, and I think this will be the last question from my side, and definitely we are waiting to ask that question. So.
Well, I'll start off with a slightly lighter note. Do we all remember the famous saying of Three Idiots? कोई बोल सकता है क्या है? The famous quote. काबिल बनो काबिल. Excellence के पीछे भागो. Automatically success अपने आप दौड़े. So that's I think one of the best mantras of life, really told in a very powerful yet very light way in life. Okay. Now coming to your question, Ashish, I think see, at the end of the day, everything is quite relative in life. So you would have to always compare from one place to another. But because we are Indians, we have certain value systems. So yes, I mean, with the globalization, we all know that today we are also doing US CMA, so it's a US certification. But I think the very important and pertinent question which you said is that I should only work for 40 hours. So I would break it up into 2-3 small parts to it. Number one, look around you, and we are talking about a population which is probably 20 times or more than the US market. Now, if you are typically talking about competing for one position in India, which is a typical of 1:200 to a ratio of the same kind of a position in US could have 1:2 or 3 members. So here the competition is huge. So probably what you also need to look at is that where you are really looking for the opportunity in the field. If you were in India, probably you will still have to think from an Indian perspective. That is one. It's good to follow a lot of global practices. Yes, we will probably eventually move there in some point in time. But whether it is now, immediately today, I have a doubt. That's that point number one. Point number two, I think what everybody is saying is that if you really follow your passion, and let's say that this is a career which you are doing because of your passion, then you really do not feel overburdened, or rather even burdened, because the work is your passion and you are anyway every day doing what you are really passionate about. Okay, that doesn't mean that 40 hours becomes 80 hours, but what I'm saying is that probably in the beginning when you are trying to start and establish yourself, making your foot well grounded in your career, in your field altogether, there is where probably you will have to go a little bit extra. Okay, so give it your best shot. I'm sure that you will all have your eventual choices coming up in your life in some point in time, but may not be in the very immediate type things. So that's the way I will like to put it.
Thank you very much, panelists, for your valuable insights, your sharing your expertise, and I'm sure student must have got some sort of inspiration as well as knowledge, as well as how to think over networking. This is a kind of event we arrange for the first time for this international course, and by looking at you, I really get inspired, and I want to arrange this kind of event again and again. So by that the students can understand, because as a teacher we teach them curriculum, but as an industry expert you can tell them what exactly the industry is expecting out of them. So considering this, I would love to take question answer. I think, can you arrange one more chair for Viyanza? We just shifted here.
No,
so
I'll answer from here.
You'll answer from there, okay? Okay, that's
Am I visible?
Okay. Viyanza is visible? नहीं, किसी का आवाज नहीं आ रहा Viyanza, I think.
Am I visible?
Yes. Sure, wonderful. Ma'am, if you are really to come here, then.
No, that's fine. I think I'll answer from here. That would be much.
Or you want to come on the podium? That's fine. I think yes, from student side, I think now you have to raise your question. If you don't ask, you hesitate to ask. That's not correct. Correct. I think next time when we'll meet Sunil, Arindam, it's very difficult to get these people on podium. So today we have an opportunity to raise questions. So please don't shy. Language is no barrier. If you want to ask in Hindi, Well, fine. That will fine. No issues.
Absolutely
You can
fine.
ask
And
Hindi, Marathi, I think.
Hindi, Marathi, English, Gujarati, Bengali, Arabic.
Oh.
I can speak Arabic and understand Arabic.
So therefore, a language is no barrier. I think don't constrain yourself that I can't speak English. भले गलत तो गलत बोलो लेकिन बोलो. Correct है?
मराठी में पूछो ना.
हाँ, लगने आप बोलोगे नहीं तब तक सीखोगे नहीं. Correct है? गिरोगे नहीं तब तक चलोगे नहीं. तो आपको चलना बहुत गिरना बहुत जरूरी बेटा. So yeah, please. I think. Yes, sure. Right. कौन है? Yes. First, you introduce yourself.
Hello sir, good evening to you all and everyone present here. My name is Saisha and I wanted to ask all three of you that can we apply for internship immediately after clearing only one part of CMA exam, and if we can, how and where should we start to apply?
I think I'm not the correct person to answer this question. I think Viyanza will be the right person, or I think you need to give her mic.
You take one mic from me.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Internship, let me be very honest over here. The CMA, once you complete both your CMA exams, post that you should have 2 years of full-time work experience. Okay. Internship is for 6 months, 4 months, 2 months. You can apply for first, after finishing your first year of first paper of CMA, you can apply for that. But if you're thinking that after clearing your CMA papers, that internship will be, considered, then that is little difficult. Because we want 2 years of complete experience in the same field. That is in financial planning analysis, risk management, risk mitigation, analyst, all these things, taxation, accounting. So there's a list of profiles. So aapka internship and your work profile should almost be similar. So 2 years of work profile is important. Now there will be a lot of CA students sitting there. How many CAs? Any CAs?
Majority are CS students. CS.
Company secretary. Company secretary, do they have those internship?
Yes, they do have. I think 21 months, correct? Not mistaken. 21 months after their CS executive, they can.
That almost is considered. But this 2 months, 1 month, 3 month internship, we really take time to consider all this stuff.
You understood the answer?
You can apply. There is no stop in not applying for internship. You can apply for that internship, but we always suggest that having a 2-year good work experience in the same field of in finance and accounting is much more relevant for the certification.
Do we have a kind of internship specifically mentioned by the IMA, or?
No, we don't have any internship.
So I think you don't use that word internship, correct? So you just have to take practical exposure, because if you really want to write CMA US before your name, then you have to have 2 years of experience, and 2 years of experience you can get it anywhere, pre, post. Am I correct?
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
So you don't use the word internship.
So that's not
that will confuse you.
internship, yeah.
So you work, that will be counted, correct? So I think you want to add something.
No, that's what. See, I always believe that it's your choice, right? Whether you call it internship, you call it traineeship, you call it apprentice, or you want to call it job. You need 2 years experience. You know that by now, either before or after. Now, how to get an internship? IMA may help you, but there is no guarantee, right? Because there is a possibility we get some job opportunities as interns, but day by day we are seeing that companies do not believe in a concept of internship nowadays. However, once you pass the CMA, 2 groups or 2 exams, chances are very high because you're qualified.
Thank you so much.
See, the only one thing, you don't create a confusion by calling it internship. You have to complete 2 years of work related work I would rather say, correct? So, and then definitely you can write CMA USA before your name. So that's what it is. You got this point clear? Thank you very much. Any more? Yes, please, you got to speak out. अगर आप नहीं बोलोगे तो बहुत दुख होगा. खाना नहीं मिलेगा बेटा एंड में. सबके क्वेश्चन आने चाहिए बेटा, करेक्ट? सो अच्छा खाना है ना? Yes. First, you introduce yourself in short. Where you from, and what you're doing right now. Yes.
myself Nikhil, and I'm pursuing CMAs. So my question is, as you guys are industry experts, how do you expect a perfect CMA to be in corporate world? So what are your expectations from a qualified CMA in corporate?
Great question. I'm still trying to become a perfect CMA myself after 30 years. There is no concept of perfect CMA, let me be very frank. You grow, you learn, you develop as you work in the corporate world. But if you are not using your knowledge, which you have gained through a CMA, on your job, and which I would say more on a management advisory side or a business partnering side, then you are not a good CMA. Having a theoretical knowledge, passing the exam is only one aspect of that, but applying that knowledge in the real life in a corporate world is a totally different thing. And that's why we would see most of the people do not get confidence, or even though you have passed examinations, so you have to practice that. And it takes time. There is nothing like that because you are CMA means suddenly you will go into the CFO position and start making the presentation in the board meeting. Nothing like that happens. But what it gives you, your basics are better than someone else's basics. A BCom graduate and a CMA graduate, obviously you will know a lot of things better. You need to know how to talk, how to tell the story, and then advise the management. And when I say management means could be your boss, could be your colleagues, your peers in the team. And once you get into that habit, over a period of time, you will become a good CMA.
See, a clearing certificate, clearing certification is a priority, correct? So, but along with this, I always say when I take meetings, you have to focus on your skills. And today, on top of it, I think Sunil must have, told you about leadership skills, correct? So, until and unless you don't become proactive, communication is one of the very crucial part, and you can improve your communication by practicing. Along with this, at least you master on your advanced Excel, Power BI, Tabulae, correct? And that will definitely, I think I was, listening to, I forgot the name in Chennai conference, who was like the lady, not Sukanya, I think, that she was from the US.
Oh, the Christine.
Christine, yes, listening to Christine, and she said, you have to, we need, students have to have corporate related skills. If you don't have that skills, then it's very difficult to enter into corporates. Am I correct, Sunil? I think.
Again, I come to my mentoring again. I'm telling you, a mentor can change your life. A lot of these skills will come to you easily through a mentor. Because he will guide you, she will guide you, she will tell you what is important, like communication, presentation. Nowadays, presentation skills. You have to present. If you don't know how to make a presentation, even if you are very good in your numbers, you're showing the numbers, but if you can't speak the numbers, there is a problem. So all these things.
So when we had this event, when we decided to have this event with Sunil, I think मुझे लग रहा है कि openly भी हमने WhatsApp पे message share किया था. Who really want to participate as an anchor or something. मतलब क्या ये छोटी-छोटी बातें हैं, but that is definitely going to develop your skills. Focus on your skill set. Without skill set, your certification will be useless. Certification is important, but without skills, it is of no value. So I think, am I correct on this part? Yes, any one of you want to raise a question? Thank you, Regan. Thanks a lot.
Just to add on one more point, because you said a very pertinent question, and I think these all are very important inputs. But just think, again, because I am not a thoroughbred, finance professional. Let's say 2 years down the line, in an organization you are there, and like you, there are 10 more CMAs. All are good qualified CMAs. So typically a situation like that. How do you know you are the best? Okay. Try to find a sweet spot. So everybody will always have the baseline correct. So let's say hypothesis, that's what I'm saying. Everybody has almost similar marks, everything out there. But what will make you stand out, or probably as you said, perfect. But yes, the correct point is nobody is perfect, because perfection is an illusion. You can strive to be perfectionist, but that striving itself will make you excellent, or will make you stand out in the crowd. But even then also, you have to identify, okay, these are my top 3 strength areas, which nobody else could be better off than I am. So once you identify that, so it's about, that's what we say, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So everybody also needs to do their own SWOT analysis to identify where am I really next to none or second to none. Nobody can compete me out there. Develop that strength along with your core areas. So in no time, you'll be one of the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Arindam. It was valuable insights. Yes. Anyone of you?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vedika Mangade. I am also CMA US Purchasing. My question is, how does earning CMA impact career growth compared to staying uncertified?
No, obviously a professional qualification will give you more salary, more reputation, more recognition, and chances of promotion higher than an undergrad or a regular graduate. And that's why we all do the professional qualification, right? Why a person want to do a professional qualification? The basic question is getting a job faster than the average person, getting good job. When I say good job, means in a good company and organization, and obviously a better salary than anyone else. But it is all again relative. It's once you are enter into, so I always also sort of say the same thing. See, your intelligence quotient gives you a first job. IQ gives you the first job, but your emotional quotient gives you the first promotion. Right? So you have to strive, you have to pursue getting first job based on your CMA. But once you are inside, a smart BCom graduate also may go over you, and then you will feel bad. अरे मैं तो CMA हूँ, ये मेरे से ऊपर कैसे चला गया? Once you are in, सब घोड़े मारा करके, that's a saying in Hindi. Once you are in, everyone is equal. You are 10th, 12th, BCom, CMA. One who is smart enough, one who thinks innovatively, he or she goes up.
Of course, that's very true, I think, I'm sorry, you will add to something.
Yeah, I just add a data point because she was asking about it. Again, this is a part of my own learning. Okay, so I'm still learning like you all people out here, and I'm loving the part of the learning. So it says the IMA salary survey, which happened world over, global IMA salary survey 2023. It talks about globally the salary that you can expect as a qualified CMA is 28% higher than the counterparts who are non-qualified. Okay, and I'm talking about a global survey, okay, which just happened last year. So obviously when you have a head start of about 30% higher, so sky is the limit. Then you build on it, and as Sir also said, the emotional quotient part of it, that will eventually set you apart. And my terminology, identify your sweet spot.
Finally, I would like to thank all the students and audience for being part of this event. Your presence, enthusiasm and engagement have made this day truly special. Once again, a heartfelt thank you to everybody, and we look forward to many more such inspiring events in future. Thank you.